Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suhei with Suhei Plans, and today I'm excited to share with you one way that I am experimenting for my 2025 planners. There are some things in my system that I feel great. I'm not making any changes. And then there are other things in my system that I know for a fact I want to change up in the new year. There are still several months we're still several months away from 2025, but I do think that August, September is a very popular time for companies and brands to release their planners. And so I want to be disciplined with all of these planner releases, and there's going to be a lot of awesome and amazing products out there. And I just want to be careful about what I spend my money on and what I pick up for the new year. So, one of the things in particular that I've been really interested in is the B5 size. A B5 notebook or planner is double the size of a B6. Let me kind of just show you what I mean. So, two B6 planners, this is a B6 freely noted notebook, is two B6s equals one B5. So, this is a big book. But there are a couple of planner brands, Sterling Ink and Paper Test Designs included, that are releasing B5 planners for the new year. I think a lot of this planner is promoted for work and professional endeavors, and I think that that's something that kind of really intrigued me. I am foreseeing a more challenging time at work, probably for the next year. And so I was really intrigued in a larger planner that can do more. So, but I'm also hypothesizing that a planner this big in a B5 size is going to be pricey. So, with that said, I wanted to look into exploring the size a little bit, because I know that if I really want to understand whether or not I like this size, because if I do, it's going to be a pretty penny that I'm going to have to drop for it. So I want to make sure that I kind of get it right. And I think, again, just because it's interesting, it intrigues me, it's kind of advertised in this way, doesn't mean that it'll work for me. So it's really important for me to give things a try. And honestly, I'm totally down to explore new planner sizes. I love planning. I have my planner, channels and platforms. It's something that I take very seriously and that I also enjoy. So I also had no qualms with trying out a new size I hadn't tried before. For me, sometimes the easiest way to explore sizes in the planner world has been with Stalogy notebooks. Stalogy notebooks come at a decent price point. I'm not going to call it a cheap notebook. It's certainly not a cheap notebook, but it is within my price range, especially if it's a size or a planner that I've never tried before. I'm much more willing to do that. I picked this up for just under $25 on Amazon. So the Stalogy B5 this is a 365 page version, so it's definitely going to be thinner than the planners that are being released for 2025. So that's something that I have to keep in mind. But the layout is essentially, the page can give me, the size of this page can give me a good reference for what I can expect with the planners. And without a doubt, it's a large page. So what I kind of started doing to figure out whether this size was right for me, and I might have to reach around some things on my desk. Okay, I've got one thing here. So what I decided to do is that I have a B6 Sterling Ink Common Planner that didn't work out for me in the first half of 2024, but it's cool because I'm now going to use it to experiment with this B5 size. And like I said, B5 is half of B6. So what I did is that I took 2 pages from the Sterling Ink Common Planner, kind of rearrange them together so that I can get a sense for what one page feels like in this book. But I did that in a very specific way. So what I did is that I stuck together 2 pages of Sterling Ink grid paper, and this is going to be a little bit hard to maybe understand because it's already done, but I've taken 2 B6 sheets of paper from the Common Planner, and I stuck 2 of them together, so 4 sheets in total. I stuck those 4 sheets all together to make one spread. And then what I did is that I cut out the weekly vertical layout and then pasted it into this B5. Knowing how consistent Common Planners are with their grid, all I did was measure another like 3 or 4 grid in between each strip, so that I could firmly kind of get a sense for this layout in the Common Planner. There's also been a preview of this planner in one of Catherine's new videos. I can also link that below. And in that video, I was able to pause it and count the number of grid squares in each column in the B5 planner. So that, in combination with having the half size of this page, really helped me, just with a little bit of girl math, kind of put together this spread that will very closely mimic the Sterling Ink Common Planner's layout. Now, obviously, it's not going to look a mess like this, and this is quite a Frankenplanner if I've ever seen one. But the point was to get a sense for how I could manage my workload in a book this size. Would it work? I'm usually not a vertical person, but can it work here with a book this big? Do I have enough space for all my notes and to-dos? I feel like I'm running out of space in my current system. Or does this all fit, but there's too much blank space? And an A5 could possibly be the trick. Here's an A5. So see where my writing kind of ends? Same over here. Maybe I don't need a B6. I'm sorry, a B5. Maybe an A5 would suffice. But that's the point of this experiment. So I'm going to try. So now that I kind of, once I put this all together, I dumped in the week's worth of planning from work last week, and everything fit. All my to-dos, everything in my calendar, notes, reminders, all of those things fit, which is a really good sign. I think where we are at now, that there's a lot of blank space here, but this is only 1 week's worth of work. The following week, I could have a lot more on my daily tasks, and so I might fill this up more. But because this was a very promising start, I decided to just DIY a spread and to probably continue doing a DIY version of the Common Planner for a couple of weeks to get a sense for whether or not this is too much space. Is B5 the perfect planner for all of the things at work, or would things suffice with an A5? Right, so, but you can see there's I'm sorry, this is the B6. My bad. Okay. Or will the A5 suffice? Right? So that's kind of where we are now. The A5 is going to cost less than the B5. And so I think it would be, at least that is my guess, right? I am guessing that. I don't know that for a fact. But if the B5 is more expensive, then if it's more expensive and then I decide that it's too much space, it's really a win because one, I'm not going to feel like I'm wasting paper or I have too big of a planner for my needs. And two, that means that I can just go for the less expensive book. And so I really do want to give this a try. And I think it's fun. At the end of the day, I do want to be clear. This is just fun and I'm enjoying it. I've kind of created some like DIY tabs to kind of mimic what my work planner would be separated like and just see kind of how it feels. I want to throw this in my bag, put it in, like carry it around from meeting to meeting. And I want to like physically have this in my hand to also see what it feels like on the go. Taking it to work on my days that I'm remote, bringing it back to work. How does it feel with my computer? You know, like, is my bag all of a sudden unbearable because I switched to B5? An already bag that often holds my lunch, my planner, and, you know, my wallet and all the things. So that is how I'm experimenting for 2025 with this Frankenplanner. I want to feel it, touch it, carry it around, use the layout that I'm interested in, and get a sense for what it feels like. I think I can do this for a couple of weeks before the planner's release, or that is my estimate. So I have a decent amount of time. The next 3 weeks at work are also really busy, so it'll really help me test the strength of this size against the busy work schedule I am anticipating. So we'll see. So there are a lot of ways to start thinking about your 2025 planner. I always like a very tactile, physical approach, and I love to do that with notebooks. If you'd like, you can also do something like this with Sterling ink notebooks, but the B5 as a notebook was pretty pricey, so this was about half the cost. So I really thought that this could give me a good idea. And at a better price point. But Sterling Ink has all of the common planner sizes in a matching notebook size. So that's it for me today. I hope this has been helpful. How are you starting to think about 2025? Do you do something like this? I know there's a Frankenplanner community out there. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you folks in the next one.